Good morning, good evening, and good night to everyone here today on our session. Thanks for joining us. And basically, the purpose of this session is to go through some of the different aspects of the program that will be happening throughout next year and starting this year as well as going through some tips and tricks on to how to best promote the program locally and online. So without further ado, we will be presenting myself, Nora Cornell, Luciana Asinari, and Adrian Torres, and then we'll have a small presentation from the host of the Instructors Bootcamp for next year. With that, Lu, do you want to start?
Yeah. Hi. Hello, everyone. I think you know me, but for those who don't, I am Luciana Sinari. I am the global coordinator of this fantastic program. I've been around for a long time, so yeah, I kind of pretty much know everybody in the room. Fab Academy, it's an amazing program. It's been around also for a long time. The purpose of this session, it's not so much going into content, of course, but more into the dynamics of the course, the general sort of setting of the course, identifying for those of you who are new, who are the people in charge of what, so you can address them and with specific questions or issues, etc. So also to have a sort of general image of how the year schedule goes. So more of the piping, let's say, the pipelines of the program, and not so much the content. This will come with Neil, but now we're going to focus on the more operational part. Okay, so this is the schedule. This is the year schedule. The program, like the classes, last 6 months, right? But this is a year-long program. This program starts with this phase in which we are in, which is the application and registration. This is the intake part, right? This is the time in which we publish the new courses, the new cycles, for the general audience and our community to enroll in the program. So this phase is sort of preparational in a way, and it sort of concludes when the classes start. This is very important for us and for you, nodes and instructors, etc., because Fab Academy is not a program. The fact that it's distributed makes it very hard for us to sell it and promote it globally and try to bring people towards your audiences. This is something that you have to take into your responsibilities. You have to move this information in your networks, in your markets, let's say, to be able to bring the attention to your node specifically, because we do more or less like global general communications, but we need you to sort of drive the attention to your specific node. Okay, so Norella will go a bit in depth into this part. So what strategies can you use? But it's very important that you recognize that this is something that you also sort of have to do. We are not expecting that you become a marketing expert, but we are a community, right? We're part of bigger networks. We work with different stakeholders, and you know better than us how to address them. The second phase of this program is the classes. Classes start mid-January. Before that, we have the first prep meetings and the boot camps. We have the students and the instructors and the students boot camp, sort of in preparation for classes. Then we have the classes that go until May. There's 20 classes. And then we have the evaluation part. This is when students present their final project, usually the first 2 weeks of June. And then the global evaluation, which can be already happening in a way, sort of finds the cutoffs in July. This year, we have the exceptional case that we will be having the conference very early on. So the evaluation process will be a bit more comprised. We will deal with this when we do prep meeting. Very important. Next October 30th, we have our first prep meeting. So important date to be around. We will be discussing firstly, that is very important, the schedule, right? When do we start? This is the January 22nd, but also when do we finish and how do we deal with this sort of, well, with the evaluation process that will be a bit more comprised this year. Then we have the graduation. Students graduate during the conference. And this means that the instructors and global evaluators have certain deadlines to finish evaluating the students. This year, we might need to find sort of in between this conditional graduates, etc., to be able to reach the first week of July. That would be the graduation. But if students don't manage to finish in this typical first part of the year, we have what we call continuous evaluation until the end of the year. The rules of engagement are pretty much the same. Students can keep documenting, and instructors and evaluators will keep evaluating. It's just that after the period of classes, let's say, the attention instructors and global evaluators can pay to the students is reduced. So we need a lot of coordination and a lot of work from the students, because in a way they are on their own. They need to finish documentation and just raise their hand, say, instructor or evaluator, I'm done. But this gives us an extra amount of time for those students that don't manage to finish in the 6 months of the program. And then the last bit hanging from the cycle, it's a little moment in the first day of classes, that is the final presentations of those students that couldn't present in June. So this is how the two cycles link, let's say. The first day of classes, the students that were from the prior cycle that were not able to present their final projects, and they can graduate there, and then we launch the new cycle. So I repeat the important dates, and then we eventually in the prep meeting will go into depth of the specific rest of the dates. October 30, Wednesday at 3 Boston time, we have our first prep meeting. It will be very important that you're there to talk about the schedule, to talk about future plans and NIL, etc. January 13 to 17 is the instructors boot camp in Peru, and also hybrid. They will talk a bit about that later. Then we usually have a couple of days that are online student bootcamp, and we start classes on the 22nd of January. And the Fab 25 in the Czech Republic, the conference will be the first week of July, well, 4 to 11th, I think. Yeah, so this is schedule. The team, well, it's not a big team. We are sort of a reduced set of humans doing this part. You know, Neil is the director. He creates the content. He gives the classes. He does the review. He's the sort of the driving force of this. Sherry directs Fab Foundation and all the infrastructure that supports this program. I coordinate most of the processes, let's say, aside from classes and content, all the processes that happen are sort of always going through me. So I'm an important point of contact for you. If you have any doubts, not only that I'm the point of contact, also I've been around for so long, so I probably have an answer for all your questions. So always address to me. I'm coordination at fabacademy.org. I work with Chiara Dall'Olio. We are both set in Fabla Barcelona in Spain, for you to just put us in the map. And we work from here to sort of cover all the enrollments and applications, etc., that go through us. Okay. Then we have the communication team. This is Nore and Adrian and Sam. They are supporting us in all the things that are related to internal and external communications. They will talk about a bit more later. Julian, it's our IT support. He helped us creating the repos and sort of managing the way we safeguard information and how we communicate through our platforms. And then we have the administration team, who are in charge of invoicing and payments, etc. I'm sort of liaison for them. So if you have any concerns or questions, etc., you can go through me, but they are Chelsea and Danny from Fab Foundation, and they support us in this process. And aside from that, the second stage of this organization has a very thick and amazing layer of human beings, which are the mentors and the instructors and all the people that has been supporting this program for so long. These are the senior instructors that you will know and get to meet throughout the class. They are usually in charge of regional reviews and the global open time. These are people that have been around for very long. They know the program by heart, and they will be sort of supporting those new instructors that are coming in and helping you with the global evaluation processes. So we may look small, but we have very long and deep roots in the global community. I think that, yeah, this is a bit what is that we do. I don't want to go into too much detail. We take care of the notes applications. Every year we have the historical notes offering Fab Academy, but also we have new notes. These new notes are new Fab Labs or Fab Labs that want to offer the program for the first time. So we sort of help them onboarding them and sort of putting in place all the things that they need to register and to run the course. So we take care that all the nodes offer, let's say, the same resources to their students. The process of students' applications always also goes through us. All the students in the world apply to our global form, and then we sort of send them back to their nodes, and the nodes should tell us, yes, the students accepted or not. But let's say the big, the general audience, let's say, go through us, and then they become students. Neil, as I said, is in charge of content, and he gives the classes and he does the reviews. You know that we've been discussing the future of Fab Academy with half Neil and then without Neil. This sort of phasing out is kind of in process. We might start to see some changes in the way the classes usually run, but I will leave that to Neil to introduce, let's say. But for the moment, Neil will be still in charge of the content, delivering it, and the global reviews. Then, as I said, a very important part of our program is what we call global evaluation, because students are not only evaluated by their instructors and the things that they do in class and in their Fab Labs, but they have to document, and this documentation is sort of reviewed in a second layer by this like network of mentors, right? This is what we do to make sure the standards of the program are the same all over the world. So this sort of two-layer evaluation, it's a policy that we really enforce in academy programs as a way to sustain and make sure the standards of the program are still the same year by year. But again, this goes through coordination. So in a way, I'm in charge sort of all the matchmaking between students and global evaluators. Communication and marketing, as I said, Nore, Adri, and Sam prepare a lot of material and content, and they're always posting and reposting things on our social networks. That is very important for us for not only selling the program, but also maintaining this community, right? The way we are in a way in a distributed network, and one of the main sources for communication are social media, and this is how we sort of portray ourselves. So they do an incredible work there, keeping our image and the content and the things that we do fresh. As I said, this digital infrastructure is Julian's. He is in charge of the Fab Cloud infrastructure that you may already know, but if not, you'll get introduced to very soon. And finally, well, Chelsea and Danny and Fab Foundation, that's the accountancy and keep us straight and legal. And that's it. No, okay, so bit of instructors and okay, yeah, one more. I'm still for a while. Okay, yeah. So As you know, we have to offer Fab Academy, one of the main requirements of a node is to have an instructor. Instructors, depending on their trajectory and their experience, can be novice instructors who are the ones starting for the first time, teaching the course for the first time. They're usually fresh graduates. Junior instructors have run the course one or two times. And senior instructors are those mentors and gurus that you've been seeing around for so long. This has certain differences in responsibilities and the need or not for external support. This is a bit like a big picture. I don't want to bore you with details. All this information is in the website, and I have a lot of documents regarding it. If you are any doubts or whatever, you can always contact me. There's an instructor's handbook that sort of gathers all this information. No, in the previous web, yeah, they're in the bottom, but you can find it also on the website. So if you have any doubts, you can always go to the instructor's handbook. If you see any mistakes, always point those to me. So we do reviews and change it. But the important thing that you need to understand is, doesn't matter if you're novice, junior, senior, you're sort of supported by a good and big and loving network. So every time you feel alone or that you don't know what to do or what's next, always raise your hand. We will be here for you. Okay, this is something that we do together. This is not something that you do isolated. Fab Academy is a program that is very intense and can be intense for the students and for the instructors. So all those novice instructors that you are running the program for the first time, don't be scared. This is an amazing task, and you can only do it if you rely on the network. Okay. So I think that's it. Should I shut up? Instructor's agreement. Okay, the instructor's agreement. Well, this is something that you sort of get introduced when you sort of register the node, and it's something that you have to submit as a sort of like a contract with the community, that you will be taking care of your students, and then you will all these things, master and mentoring the skills, providing adequate availability to assist your students, participating in class prep, very important. Do not skip prep meetings. Those are very, very important. If you cannot be in the prep meetings, send somebody to take notes. Prep meetings are key and essential for the whole process, because a lot of new things happen and you might not notice from one week to the other. Very important, always review your students in timely manner. Don't let that work accumulate. This is very, very important. And also, since you are the ones responsible for having students in your Fab Lab, you are the ones responsible for protecting them and protecting the community. So promote this responsible and respectful environment. This is very important for everybody, and you are the ones who are near to the students. Always count on me. You can always send me emails. I'm always there for you. And that's it. I shut up. Welcome. I hope to see you for the rest of the class. And yeah, have fun.
Thank you, Lu. That was a really nice explanation. If you have any doubts, please put your questions in the chat or make sure to reach out to us in the time manner. So I'm going to talk a little bit about external communication and how we do that and how that has been changing over the last year or so. So basically, as you all know and you are all familiar, hopefully you make at least use of one of these platforms under social media. So we have Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and for sure our website or your website, depending on how you want to drive traffic to. And basically, these are all the social media marketing tools, platforms that we use throughout promoting the program. One of the key aspects that has changed over the last 6 months or so has been LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is now the go-to platform to get professional training, to tell your peers about your professional skills, development, new programs, a conference you go to, etc. It's like I heard someone said it's like Facebook 2.0 for work. something around those lines. So basically, this is the platform that we're mostly concentrated, at least for this cycle in. We will be replicating onto the different platforms, but just to let you know that now the algorithm of LinkedIn is working really good onto promoting programs, promoting courses, masters, et cetera, et cetera. And so having your presence into this platform will help us elevate, because the way LinkedIn works is by, if it sees the same thing reposted or shared or posted more and more, it will promote it more onto different people because it's getting traction. Similar to an algorithm, but more in a different way under tagging. So, one of our recommendations for this year is, if you remember that LinkedIn is attached to your personal account, so it's not like an alias of an organization that you can use unless you have a specific page, then that will be the way in which you will, it will help us promote the program in an international way. We do it in a global way, as Luciana mentioned before, but one of the key aspects is, how do we promote it locally? That is something that we don't know, that you know the real context and the things that are happening in your location. So that will be the key onto figuring out the best way to promote it. Remember that social media is awareness, is not where people are going to go in and buy the product or subscribe to the program. Is more of an awareness window, if you want to call it that way. Well, yeah, window. I don't think that translated well. It's like window shopping, but for things online. And so basically, this will be the way in which you can help us help you in getting more students or getting more leads onto the program for this year. One of the big changes that we have, or an experiment that we have been doing for over a year, has been the blog. We created a blog section inside our Fab Academy website, in which basically describes updates of the class, or basically a showcase stories of different students that have submitted it through their stories. So we have been putting or compiling month by month a couple of pieces into that, and that has given a different set of tractions throughout our website. I'll have more information on that in a little while, but that's something that really helps tell the updated story of where Fab Academy is going through. So that will be a good insight if you want to explore it. It has been working really good through the SEO marketing, that it's basically focused onto websites, SEO and SEM. That we actually also do paid campaigns under the website. Then one of the key aspects that it's basically on the node side, or you as part of being part of this program, it is important that you participate on, is in the inbound marketing. This means it's the local work that you need to do. So a couple of examples of what this means is small events. It doesn't need to be a big event. It just can be coffee and cookies or something, and then you explain what the program is about and do a little tour about the on the lab. Open days for sure, that's a good way to do it, but direct chat groups, that has been a key component onto figuring out if people are interested, to solve doubts. A direct communication with the person online, it's also a good tool in which you can reach out to people. And then for sure, we have email marketing that we use it through MailChimp, and we're starting to slowly get more into the PR marketing, which has been for us the hardest, especially since we are a global network. How do we reach all the media outlets? That's not easy, but at least we have been getting our word spread into the news section under search engines. So that has been something that has been wrapping up. We have a couple of tools that can help you with that we will prepare for you, so that you know how can this be done, because it's basically a submission of content. It's not something as difficult as it used to be. But those are all the different channels. Then we have all the different tools. As we mentioned, we have all the basically package, or the media package online. I'm gonna, how do I stop sharing screen like this? I forgot what no, this is not the button. Nope, wait, sorry about that. Okay, there you go. So we have, as you know, we have our marketing drive, as we usually have it. For those of you who basically want to do it, we have all the different assets into here. We have the logos, all the different logos in PNG and SVG. We have all the social media posts, depending on where you want to post, they're ready to go. Basically, just download them and you get them, and that's it. And then what's website? Oh, and then we have like website banners and everything around those matters as well, if you want to update any of your websites. So one of the key components under here, it's also, if I'm not incorrect, it's going to be one of the new things that we have developed for this year is the brochure. So we have never had a Fab Academy brochure, and we have developed this brochure in order for you to help, for meaning to help you into the process of explaining a little bit more into detail what this means in a nice way. So, or in a more digestible way. So basically the brochure entitles everything that's in the website, but it's condensed onto a brochure format. It has basically the small summary of what all of this is, the overview, the history, what is the profile of the student, what would they learn in a glimpse in a different way that it's not dense and condensed. Then what they will experience into different areas, what is basically part of the program, what is the outcome, what is expected. We're mostly focusing on career development. So that's the focus of this brochure, explaining them how this will elevate their career skill sets for the future of potential basically work related activities. Then we talk a little bit about the networks and nodes, the instructors, what the community entitles, the class format. We describe everything related to the class format, the topics, evaluation cycles. We explain a little bit. We know we have a bunch of projects, but we cannot put them all in one brochure, but at least we highlight a couple of them. And we also have some case studies related to career paths that we exemplify into the brochure to make it a little bit more digestible and understand what the potential of this is. Enrollment details as we always have, and basically contact us. So this is basically the new add-on onto the assets for media marketing that we have been developing over the last year, if I'm not incorrect, Luciana and Jean-Michel. Yes, you all have access to those documents. I hope, but if not, you will be able to see it here. That's the link for the brochure, if I'm not incorrect. If not, we will be sending after this meeting, basically a summary of all the links for you to have access to. So don't worry about that. Australia is missing in the map. Sorry, Claire, I had to chop it off. It couldn't fit into the space, but we'll make it. We'll make it
Just
more.
one little pink thing.
Yeah, we need to move it a little bit more. Okay, so basically those are all the assets that we will be working with, as well as all the Canva files. I feel that the Canva files last year worked really good for those of you who use them. Canva is a really nice shareable tool. I would say it's basically really dynamic into globally working together, compared to Illustrator or Photoshop or any of those others. So basically, if you look into here, you will be able to find all the different assets that I have like download as PNGs or SVGs or whatever. You will be able to find the editable of basically the editable files into here. And basically the way in which you can edit them is by making a copy on your own Canva account. So all of these documents are shareable as long as you do this or follow these instructions in order to be editable. So and then someone's asking for the marketing link. I think that's the brochure, and here is all the file or the folder. I think for this folder you need to request access, so those go to me. If you will request it after the session, I'll granted you access if you don't have access yet. So going back to our presentation, basically that's all the different things that we have. One of the tools that we suggest is creating a database. I'm going to go back to sharing screen. Can you still see the screen? Right? Yes. Okay. And contacting media outlets that I know that last year some of you did that or had that opportunity to be displayed onto media outlets, which help a lot into getting the word spread in a different way. Then here are some tips onto open dates and outlines, into how to make an open date for your Fab Lab and to get local students excited on how to participate on the program. I'm not gonna go into detail onto this one. Then, as I mentioned, here are all the editable files. It's the same thing that I mentioned in the other. Here's just in presentation style. And then what are the actions? So we need a couple of actions from your side. So one of the big things is LinkedIn. If you have not created or made your students add themselves as experience or person that graduated under the cycle, it's really important that that experience is shown in their profile under LinkedIn. So I would recommend you for previous students and for yourself to add that as part of your experience into LinkedIn. It's really important that that helps boost and show credibility onto the platform. That's the only request that I will ask for you guys. Into LinkedIn, if you have a website or you have a social media platform, it is important that you drive traffic not only to your website, but also to the Fab Academy website. That way, it's like a good way to show the credibility of the different things that you are displaying, that will potentially generate leads or help generate leads. If you have the opportunity and the time, we are time constrained. We're running now into the end of October, and then we only have mostly November in which we can actually do events or do any open days or anything. So if you have the opportunity, I would say December is a really bad month for any activity related. So probably think in terms of November if you actually want to do open days. Then under email marketing, we have some leads that are still not grabbing. For the first year we created leads, we got around 200 leads onto our overall general database. We have not got traction yet. We hope we get traction and we can basically redirect those leads onto you, because that will be the way in which we will drive traffic to that. And then basically, as I mentioned before, if you have the opportunity with PR marketing, I know we have used in the past different tools for PR. I think creating a little cheat sheet on how to do that will definitely help you understand how this works. Basically, the way in which PR works is basically you submit into different media platforms your little piece or your description. We have done that in the past, and then basically they just copy paste it and put it there. What that does is that when you search into news under your Google search engine, it will show as a news rather than as a website. So that's the difference. So into getting the word spread in a different way. Then one of the key things that we want to try out this cycle is to get your inputs onto stories. So if you go to, Adri, if you can put the blog link here, I think Luciana put it on top. So if you go to the blog post, you will see that there's different stories month by month. Those has been curated by us internally or by different things that have happened during the program for last year. But this year, we want to open it up to you. I know it's more work, but if you are really interested into, I think it will be a nice way to basically display the story in a different way, basically described by someone that is either an instructor or a student. It's a longer piece. It's not just like a little paragraph, but it's something that we want to open up to you, is to be displayed as if you have something interesting to share about the class, about a new tool, about something that you feel that will be an add-on onto the program. I think this will be the opportunity and the space to do that. Thanks for putting the submit button. So it's basically that will be open the whole cycle. So whenever you have the opportunity to, I don't know, be inspired or something and write a small piece, just go and drop it there, and those will be curated by us and put onto the different. We try to do every month one piece, regardless of where we are at in the program. We try to put them out at least once a month. So that's basically one thing that we would like for you to engage in if you have the opportunity and the time. And now I'm going to leave it to Adri for internal communication.
Hello, everyone. I'm Adrian Torres. I'm part of the communication team with More. Well, the formal communication always is send an email to coordination with Luciana. Problems with the students or new notes or agreements, everything you need, email to Luciana to coordination. The informal communication always is mattermost. As soon as possible, Julian creates the new 2025 team of the Fab Academy. We have different channels. The off-topic channel, for example, or the general channel, everyone stays here, students, instructors, global evaluators, but there is a staff and instructors channel. Please, if you have problems with the evaluation or the global evaluator, write here because this is the channel. It's usual. Always you can download the app in your mobile phone. Enable the notification because it's important. And yeah, if you put in your browser, select your save the tab, okay? And yeah, it's important to put the notifications in the staff repo, okay? Then there is the GitLab, okay? Inside of the GitLab, there is the communication that Neil uses a lot, is the issues trackers. And it's important to check the notifications. And remember, it's a little bell. If you put everyone, you can see everything inside of the GitLab. I think the last week, Julian created the GitLab for the 2025. And yeah, it's important to join every Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. time Boston time, because we have the prep meeting. Remember, in the prep meeting, it's important for the instructors and the global evaluators, because we discuss the different classes, the deltas, the materials, or the inventory, and it's important to be here. And the next, Nore, is the instructor bootcamp in January with in Lima. This is the photo from this year in León, and we jump with Jorge Valerio. I think Jorge is here. Oh, sorry.
Guys, before maybe before we jump to the bootcamp, maybe just let's ask if there's any doubt or you have something that pops into your mind immediately, so we can then move towards the bootcamp. Any questions?
Yes, hello. Can you hear me? Yes. I must say this is amazing marketing material that you have made, and it will be very helpful. Thank you very much for this. Question, are we allowed to use videos from the previous projects and so on that are on the student sites, or?
Yes.
Yes,
So
in general, the rules of engagement of Fab Academy is that the content it's sort of there, right? You might need to be careful in case you depict faces, but in general we use all the content, right, Nore?
Yes, we basically, under the students agreement, there's a little line that describes related to marketing that we are allowed to use any pictures, videos, anything related to their work. We can make use out of those. One key aspect that I want to mention related to pictures, we need to make sure that we credit any picture that is not part of any of our students, because we have had some troubles in the past with some of the images. So just be sure. One quick way to identify if the image is easy accessible or if it's related to a Fab Lab is do a reverse image search. That way you can easily identify, okay, yes, this is from a Fab Lab, and just credit the Fab Lab or whatever, and then just make sure that it's not done by a photographer or anything like that, that we can get sued because it's under copyright. So just make sure about images. That I think it's going to be a big thing nowadays onto the website, just to be aware.
And one more question, are we allowed to translate to our own languages?
Super, yes,
Of
super
course.
recommended. I think that's the best way to actually to do that.
Encouraged.
Also, yes, so one of the things the brochure is also on Canva, so I'll be sharing that file. So maybe if you have the chance, you can also translate the brochure into your local language, which will be fantastic for us because we don't have that. Well, there's AI tools, but I don't rely on them that much in order to do translations into many different languages. But if you have the time, I think that will be really nice in order to us to do that process on to getting them. We encourage everyone to always do their marketing on their basically in original language, because it's an easier way for people to understand what this entitles also, but with the exception, letting them know that the program is in English, just for you to know.
Yeah, I know that you don't notice, but my English is not my native language.
I
So
know,
no,
I do
nobody,
know that.
you cannot hear it by my accent. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Frosty. Anyone else that has any questions? Well, if anything basically pops out into your mind, you don't know how to do this or that, like, we're here to help. Just let us know. We'll figure it out. All of the presentations and the different links, we will be sharing them after the session. So don't worry about that. You'll get all the links and all the content that it's editable for you to start using it. I know that some of you will just repost it and that's fine, or some of you will take some of the things and create your own. I think it doesn't matter as long as at least it keeps the overall identity of our logo, and that's about it, because I know it's also attached to universities and institutions that have their own stuff. So it's just making sure that we are remember that every year we change basically the little numbers on the bottom. It's basically the binary number for the year. That's basically what it means. So that's changed every year. The logo of Fab Academy as a whole, it stays the same forever. So just for you to know. Anything else until we go to, well, the last thing that we want to remind is, remember the prep is on the 30th of October, 9 a.m. Boston time, Eastern time. So Jorge, do you want to take over?
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Wait a minute. Oops. Okay, can you see our screen? My screen? Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
So we are doing this small presentation with Jorge, me and Aldi. Hi from Lima. So we just elaborate, finished the website, and Jorge is going to show you what it has, so you can recognize the information that is uploaded in this web.
Yeah, first of all, now we have 7 participants in total. Yeah, 6 pre-register, 1 register complete. Yeah, from different parts of the world, from USA, Turkey, Rwanda, Japan, and Peru, obviously. Well, we want to show you our registration process. Okay, first of all, you have to fill the registration form. Okay, the link is in our website. Then we will send you an email including the Visa payment link and asking for your address and a copy of the voucher. And then when we receive the voucher and your address, your invoice will be sent to you. Okay, that's the process. Okay, well, only accept Visa and debit or credit card. Okay, that's the only problem.
Yeah. Limitation.
Yeah, it's the only limitation.
The other thing is that we are offering the pre-registration, like early bird ticket. The investment for early bird is $360, and then we're going for $400. The idea is to you have access to all the material and all the things that we are developing. That is what we are expected also to count with City Studio participation. We get in touch with Eric Pam, and he was amazed to get engaged with this training program, so we can get the earliest all the material, the new material that they have released this previous month. So we are going to be able to have that kind of material for the training program next year. So the idea is to do something similar to what Adrian did for the ESPN 32, and you know, integrate the information, the new show that we have able to have here for the next January. Okay, I think we can show them the website.
Okay, let's see.
No, the web.
Oh, sorry. The website.
No, the web.
I know.
That one. So we have add information in travel regarding the visas. So anyone could see the kind of documentation that we'll need, just in case. And we are also interested in.
Yes, brother.
Yeah. Sorry. And there is a link for the registration form. So you can add the information and we can get in touch with you. I don't know if you have any questions. We're also asking for some information from you regarding some topics that you are maybe interested to include in the program. We have already received some interest in terms of the inventory management, the project management, some new fabrication techniques. So we are also open to receive any kind of interest in terms of holding some specific workshop. And that's all.
Yeah, and we would want to know if someone would like to present some topic during the bootcamp, right? Well, you have any question about it? Okay. Well, that's it.
We're going to share the link for the website in the chat.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Jorge and team. So yeah, I think this is an opportunity. Remember that the bootcamp is that way in which we basically retrain the instructors with new things that are upcoming for the next cycle. So it's a good opportunity, especially for new nodes and instructors, to get to the drill of what this means. So we invite you to get ready and don't miss the early bird season for the instructors bootcamp this year in Lima. So with that, if you have any other questions, I don't think so, but if you do, just let us know, write to us. We are here available in order to make this work together. You are not alone, even though you are in your own location. We're here to support you in any way we can. And remember that we will be sharing all this information with you by email after the session is over. And basically, just to wrap up, remember to mark your calendars on October 30th. Lou, does everyone here in this call have access to the repo? I guess that's where all the
Yes, you should. So check that you can
access
see
it.
the staff project within the 2025 repo. And remember to set the notifications to watch, so you receive the issue notifications. But yeah, in theory, most of you should be added there. If not, let me know.
Yeah, it's by request only, meaning that you won't be able to see it unless you have already been invited. So make sure that you have got that invitation and got access to the repo by now. Remember that that's where Neil will be updating every information that's his way of communication, or his main source of communication for the program. And so with that, I want to thank you all for your time, for being here today. We have a really nice crowd this morning. Thomas, if you don't have access, please reach out to Luciana at coordination. She will be able to provide you with the access to the link. Or
the link is there. I put the link in the chat. So if you click that and you don't see it or you cannot access, send me an email.
Yeah, to coordination@fabacademy.org. So thank you all for your time. We have a really nice crowd today. We have between 44 people connected this morning. So thank you so much. This is the first out of, we normally do this session just as a little a warm-up before we start all the preps with Neil. So thank you so much for your time, for being here and for hearing us for a full hour. Hopefully this is helpful into promoting the program, and hope to see you around in next and future preps. So that will be all from our side. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Have
you.
it.
Bye-bye.
Muchas
Bye.
gracias. Gracias.
Nos vemos. Chao, chao.
Bye bye.